Hi everybody and welcome back to my reactions. Today we are checking out Pleasantville, the 1998 movie. I have no idea what this movie is about, but this was one of the first movies that was recommended to me on my channel all the way back in probably like March time, maybe late February, early March. So it's been a while to get to this movie, but I am so excited to finally get to it. I know that this movie has my boy Tobey Maguire, the best Spider-Man. This was before his Spider-Man days though, I think, so I'm very excited to see him because I haven't seen a lot of Tobey Maguire recently, or really ever besides Spider-Man, but I really enjoy him as an actor. I think he's so cool, and you know, maybe he'll be in the new Spider-Man coming out in December. Who knows? Let's hope he is. Anyways, I think that this movie is a black and white movie, and then it slowly transitions into a color movie. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work out. I know that there is a black and white bit, and I know that there are bits with like color and black and white, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's just a thing that the director was like, oh, this would be cool, or if it actually has like a story purpose, but I'm really excited to check it out because I'm sure it's going to be a very creative film. And before we get into my reaction, let me do the lighting. So let me turn on the lights and then we can decide what color it should be. Boop! Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so the lighting today, I think the lighting today, I'm going to go blue because I have no idea what the color of this movie is at all. The poster has like pictures and then there's like a blue background. So I'm going blue for the sky because blue always works, and I feel like it's just a blue day today. It's raining outside. It's kind of early afternoon. It's raining. It's gloomy. I think this darker blue kind of accentuates the mood of my world right now, but also maybe it'll work with the film. Also, what I may do, I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I want to do something with color in this movie, so I may be able to make it black and white. So after watching this movie, I may make it black and white, or I may have just done that and nothing have happened, because if this movie's in color, then obviously I'm not going to make it black and white. But I may make this movie black and white, and then I may try to like add color to different parts of my video as the movie adds color. But again, I don't know how it's going to work, so before watching this movie, I don't have like the prerequisite knowledge to know how I'm going to edit my video before watching this movie, but I'm hoping it'll turn out cool, or maybe it'll just be a standard video. We'll see. And before we get into the video as well, if you'd like to check out more of my reactions, you can head over to my Patreon, where I have uncut reactions to many of the movies I watch on YouTube, as well as early access reactions to my movies that come out 1 week early. There are also 2 exclusive Patreon movies a month that you guys on Patreon get to choose, so thank you so much if you check it out, and let's get back to the video. Okay. I am just excited to watch this movie. I've heard a lot about it. It was one of the first recommended movies to me on the channel, and it has Tobey Maguire in it. Like, what else could you ask for? And I'm sure it's going to be very visually creative and stylish and just really fun. So let's get into it. I hope you enjoy my reaction to Pleasantville.
Ever since been married.
Our cash bail will be out by the main. Stop forgetting.
And you know,
Bobo.
Interesting. There's so much color right now.
Family. TV time. Remember, you're soaking in it. This Friday on TV time. Take the phone off the hook and the plastic off the couch.
I'm feeling very overwhelmed at the moment. Pleasantville's a show?
$1,000 in our Pleasantville trivia contest. Plus a free trip to the Pleasantville of your choice.
Wait, what? There are multiple Pleasantvilles?
I mean, not knowing you well and all. I mean, you know, I know you, as everybody knows you.
You got this, Tobey. Oh my god. That was actually really good camera work there. That was a good subversion.
This marks a drastic increase.
From 14 years ago, when ozone depletion was at just 10%.
Everything sucks. Oh my god.
We're 30 years old. Average global temperature will have risen 2.5 degrees.
Why are you making our lives feel so sad?
Mine is.
I like the notion that the older generation is sort of pushing these problems onto the younger generation, and they're just like, oh, it's just problems you guys will have to deal with in 30 years.
When is it on?
Marathon starts at 6:30. Contest is tomorrow at noon.
Oh, he's so ready. Toby's gonna destroy this competition.
Only on my parents' side.
Yeah, but you guys are like twins and stuff. You must be from the cool side of the uterus.
Oh my god. Here they come.
You're related to him only on my parents' side? That took me so long. That took me so long to get.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Because nobody's homeless in Pleasantville.
Because everyone's just so happy and everything's
Someone
perfect.
blank.
I'm excited for him to go to Pleasantville. I think he's going to be going to Pleasantville. And then I think things are going to go south. I don't know how or why, but that's my theory. Oh, because MTV, right?
Stairs? Upstairs? It doesn't have any stereo!
God.
No, both of their dreams are ruined.
TV repair.
TV repair?
What?
Yeah, TV
What?
busted.
How did you know? What?
Well, here
Hello? This kind of feels like WandaVision. If anyone has seen WandaVision, this guy's appearance just, it's like subtly very creepy and happy.
Pleasantville Marathon starts at 6:30. Pleasantville. Gosh, I love that show.
What the heck? This man seems like he lives in Pleasantville.
Remember? For the very best in men's attire, head right down to McIntyre's.
True fan. Biggest fan in the world.
Big, beautiful set like that? You want something that'll put you right in the show.
Do it! Put him in the show!
Take care now.
He's too happy. This is a little creepy. I'm gonna be honest. When people are too happy, it's creepy.
Whether it's on the track at Indy or just driving around the block, only new Pennzoil with
What the heck? I thought something insane was about to happen.
No, wait, bud.
They're becoming... What?
I'm not sure.
Hi, sport. Hi, Muffin.
Oh my god, they're the kids now. They're the kids now.
Prince Charming, that was gorgeous, bud. My name is David.
Oh, God.
You know, this is a pretty strange way of showing your appreciation. Hey, we appreciate...
Why would he appreciate this?
This is a privilege, you know. I don't think I better talk about this right now. Where are you going?
What is he
I don't think we should discuss this until I'm a little more composed. Wait.
I kind of like this guy.
A week or two.
I wonder if it's going to be like a real life as the show, or if it's going to be like a set and stuff. I love just the weirded out glances. Perfect. Perfect choices. Perfect casting. She's too nice. Everyone's too nice. It reminds me of Coraline, the stepmother in the other world, being way too nice. Like there's just something off about it, you know? And that's what makes it a little freaky.
For some pancakes,
Even an elephant couldn't eat all of that.
sausage, and some good cream.
Okay, that sausage looks pretty good though.
You read on up, then it's right off to school.
Jesus Christ. I love syrup, but you're creating an ocean. That's the Pacific Ocean of syrup.
I'm gonna hurl David, I swear to God.
Oh my god, this is actually WandaVision.
It's all that animal fat
WandaVision
feeling
totally
like
was
pork.
based off of this movie. And sitcoms as well, but the fence with the roses, that's literally a set in WandaVision. This is cool.
No, I'm not gonna do it. If I don't dress like this for Mom, I'm sure as hell not gonna do it for
We
you.
have no choice, Jen. We are stuck here until that guy shows up again.
Why can't we just explain it to somebody?
To who?
Yeah, who would believe you? Oh, we got sucked into a TV. We're from a dimension with color.
And Debbie Russell had transferred to another school. And my skin was really great since March. Mark Davis was...
I actually really like her. I actually do really like her. She's just really funny. Of course.
What's all the commotion?
Of course.
Does he like me?
As a matter of fact, he does.
They're gonna like tamper with the characters, sort of, I feel like.
Okay.
Dude, she's good at faking. She's good at faking it.
It's not as long?
That's right, Tommy. It's not as long. Also, it only has houses.
Look at her. She's like, oh, he's so smart. That's so funny.
Mary Sue.
Yeah. What's outside of Pleasantville?
I don't understand.
Nothing's outside of Pleasantville.
Is just the beginning again.
What? What happens if you just try and walk out? This is really interesting after watching WandaVision though, because WandaVision took a lot of inspiration from this film. So it's really cool seeing the similarities between the show and this movie. What if Tobey's actually a star at basketball? I wonder how many takes it took him to do that. Oh my god, that's perfect. It's perfect. Oh, he can't miss because it's Pleasantville. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Is that actually why?
What I mean is, if I was to go up to Mary Sue...
Oh my God. Are we in that episode?
What? I don't believe this.
They went back into episodes. They didn't just go into the future episode. That's weird.
Don't touch it. Stay back.
I'm sure we'll work something out.
I thought you liked him.
Yeah.
Like that, they're slowly like breaking the world in a way.
Think anybody's gonna notice if I don't have like a chocolate malt with this guy?
It's kind of interesting when you look at a world that is totally perfect and you start to appreciate the flaws. Or the small flaws like a basketball missing the hoop instead of always going in and stuff, you know? They're all like robots. They're all robots in Pleasantville. It's all scripted, and when they go off script, it's a no-no.
Yeah. Okay, put on the lettuce, finish the burger, and pretend it was me doing it the whole time. Yeah, you can do it, really.
He's like, oh my god, I never thought that I could put on the lettuce.
I just don't want to rush it. I mean, there's kids that are even holding hands already, but I figure there's plenty of time for that kind of thing later on, don't you?
There's kids that are even holding hands. Holding hands is like a year into the relationship, you can start holding hands. Oh, God. What? Does no one go to the bathroom in a perfect world?
So anyhow, I really wanted to sit next to you in civics, but...
You wanna get out of here?
What?
Do you wanna leave? Do you wanna...
You ordered food. You have to eat it first at least. What if he's hungry?
Oh, shit.
But she's ruining the episode. The episode's getting messed up. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. Something bad's about to happen.
That's silly, Mary Sue. How could you possibly pin me?
The look of realization on his face was golden. Everyone is acting their chops off in this movie. It's so good.
Yeah, was something the matter?
No, I was just worried about her.
I really recognize this guy. He's from Shameless. That's where the dad's from. He's from Shameless. Oh my god, you're in public.
And then we both locked the doors.
Yeah.
And, well, you weren't around this time.
So
I did the whole thing by myself.
I'm so proud of you. I'm actually so proud of you. Dude.
Oh, hello, Betty.
Hello, Bill.
Wait, what? Are they in love? Hello? Secret love affair going on in the background?
Hello, Mr. Johnson.
This is a very cool camera shot. That was a very good camera shot.
I know, I'm really sleepy and I have to wake up early in the morning to go to school. So, night.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's gonna happen? I'm very scared for this guy. He seems happy though. Color! Color, 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 color! Oh my gosh. The imperfections of the real world are seeping into Pleasantville.
We got a big game next week. Let's go. Come on.
What if they all miss? Someone's gonna miss. Oh my god, yes.
To these people, you can't do this to them.
If I don't do it, who will?
No, but they're happy like this.
No. David, nobody is happy in a poodle skirt and a sweater set.
I do like her character. I like both of the siblings. They're both really cool characters.
I gotta go.
It's
I'm
pink.
gonna meet Skip at the flagpole.
And look, the red light. It's like the Reds are coming in first, and they're all having sex now. Interesting.
No, things like that. It'll probably just clear up on its own.
The green now. What the heck?
It's always the same, you know? Grill the bun, flip the meat, melt the cheese. You know, it never changes. It never gets any better or worse.
Oh, he doesn't like the life he's living. Free will, free will, free will.
Like what you do. Sometimes you just gotta do it because it's your job. And even if you don't like it, you just gotta do it anyway.
That's not the greatest life advice.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, here, go ahead.
Oh, don't be silly, Roy. I couldn't possibly take your spot.
He says as he sits down in the spot.
Okay. Well, you see, Mom, when two people really love each other very, very much.
She's giving the talk to her parent. That's funny. Well, not her parent, but at the same time, her parent.
Sweetie, you coming to bed?
In a moment. Oh my god, they have the single beds. That's impressive. How did they get the fire on the tree? What? She also orgasmed so hard that she lit a tree on fire. That's incredible. I don't think anyone's ever done that before in their lives.
All right, stop. Stop!
They're not even looking at the fire.
I am pleased to present you with this special commendation from the Pleasantville Chamber of Commerce.
The dad is the only one out of like the main people who is still in this Pleasantville thing all the way. Like everyone is still in it, but they're slowly creeping out of it.
I baked you some of my oatmeal cookies.
Oh, eat them, please.
Oh.
Give me one
Oh,
too.
no,
I want a
you baked
cookie
those for
now.
Whitey.
No, I baked them for you.
No, you baked them.
The story's changed. The story's changed. Dude, full color people now. Whoa. This is actually impressive. Is this rotoscope? Like, how did they do this? Interesting.
It doesn't matter. It's not important.
What's outside of Pleasantville?
Oh, all these eyes looking at you for this information. She gave you cookies. You better answer her question.
But only up until the part with the raft, because that's as far as I read.
Oh, so you have to, they have, oh, interesting. I wonder if there's a conversion of color between people who are still way more stuck in the Pleasantville idea and people who are more dipping their toe into the real world, you know?
Like the fire. It's the little things. Did you hear about Bill Miller?
No, what?
Wife wants him to get one of those new beds.
One of
The
those big beds?
Oh, that's why they were all looking at the bed. I never registered that.
Well, it is exactly like mine, George. Huh. Well, you can start by saying yes.
George, don't. I kind of like you. I want you to... No.
Can't go out there this way. How can I go out there this way?
Okay, my color theory is not true with like people who are dipping their toe in the real world because Tobey is not in color. He would be the most color. This is a creative way to do it though, because you have the lipstick that is black and white, and the makeup that's black and white. So you put it on the face. The actual makeup itself is black and white. I like it. I like it.
coming, sweetie.
He just sat in the chair for 20 hours just going, Betty, 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 are you in there? Like, get up and go check.
Library. It's an art book.
Oh my.
I want this guy to be painting pictures by the end of this movie. This is so cute. I have chills. How can you not? This is adorable. Ah, yes. One of the most famous paintings in the world. The music right now too, I'm getting a little teary-eyed, I'm not gonna lie. It's just really beautiful. I want him to explore his passion for art. Do it.
Will you go out with me tonight?
Tobey Maguire happy is the best type of happiness in in the world.
Right now, I mean...
I'll be honest with you, bud. I'm getting a little concerned about what I'm seeing on some of these reruns.
Reruns?
Oh, the reruns are changing?
Lawrence. You ever heard of him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I read a couple pages. Seemed kind of sexy.
it is.
Reading is sexy, guys. Reading is sexy.
I've had like 10 times as much sex as the rest of these girls, and I still look like this.
Not to
And they
brag,
spend, like,
but...
an hour in the backseat of some car, and all of a sudden they're in Technicolor.
Yeah, this is what I'm wondering. Why are these two not in color? I don't think it is then. Yeah, it must be something else. It must be some form of drive to want to change. I don't know. The want to express yourself, express who you really are. Maybe that's what changes you into color? I'm not sure. Wow. It's so colorful now. At least not everyone's having sex. That's good. Imagine if everyone's just on the grass like animals. Oh. Is that the diner? Oh, is that the diner? Oh, yes. Is that Santa Claus?
Here, look at this.
Ugh.
Where did you get this?
Bud brought it to me.
Art is so beautiful, isn't it?
Here's my favorite.
The interpretations of life through art is so cool.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
This is so cute. This movie is so good. I think this movie is about expressing yourself, embracing the imperfections in life, because that's what makes life life. That's what makes life good. That's definitely a kiss camera if I've ever seen one, but I don't think, no. I was about to say, I don't think they're gonna kiss. That was a love shot right there. Falling in love. The glasses? Would she not wear glasses because she thought it was dorky and nerdy? Sorry, my nose is still running from the painting scene earlier. Oh, so good. There's apples. Oh, they're like an orchard. That's cool. Oh, that was a good shot too. I like the big moon in the background.
Honey, I'm home.
Okay, she's not. What if she was just out for a walk? That looks really good. This guy's a masterful artist. Whoever actually painted this picture in real life, props. Oh, they get a rain kiss. Will they go to the gazebo? That kind of reminds me of the Shawshank Redemption. That shot. Oh, the music. I have chills again. I've had chills twice in this movie already. This is a beautiful movie. I don't know why. I feel like this movie just makes me feel like I want to discover things. I want to do things that makes me feel happy. I want to live and be me, you know? That's like what I'm getting out of this movie, this message. I hope he changes too. I like him. I hope he doesn't become like a villain in a way. Perfect. Perfect. Not perfect. No, perfect. These are the old people who are still... Yeah, okay. Interesting how most of the old people, or the older generation of people, are all black and white, all still perfect, while all the youth are changing, are in color, besides the majority, or besides like one or two of the older individuals in this society. Most of them were the same. Just an interesting thing, isn't it?
No dinner.
No dinner?
No dinner!
Clear up on its own. Something is happening to our town. And I think we can all see where it's coming from.
I love that shot. It's him. It's looking up at him like he's in a position of power, because he is. Behind him is this perfect scoreboard for bowling.
Time has come to make a decision. Are we in this thing alone? Or are we in it together?
Like how the older generation has made these rules for the younger generations to follow, but the younger generations maybe necessarily don't want to follow these rules. They want to be their own people, but the older generation are kind of stubborn in that way, and they don't want to change the way that they've always been living. Well, the younger people will always be changing. Society will always changes through younger people. Also, this movie came out in 1998, so the definition of a nuclear family was probably still there, especially in America, still there, because this kind of feels like the 50s, and in the 50s, everything was this nuclear family, you know? Wife stays at home, cooks, cleans, does all this. Guy, father, works, kids go to school, everyone's happy, right, in this nuclear family, and times change, but 1998 would be when all this people who lived in the nuclear family generation would be on the older side, and then this new youth are coming in who don't want to maybe experience this nuclear family situation or way of life, you know? So maybe that's also what this movie is speaking towards. I don't know, there's a lot to unpack. I'm excited to try and unpack it.
You're going to be home at 6 o'clock every night, and you are going to have dinner ready on this table.
No.
No.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
It's a prop from the school play.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that. I like that umbrella. That's so old school. That feels so old school.
Roy Campbell's got a blue front door.
It's always been blue.
It's always been blue. It's not my fault that everything's turning color.
I think we all know what's been going on here.
Also, look at this town meeting. There is no one who is turning into color at the meeting to express their opinion. It is all a one-sided debate. Oh, these two are the best part of this movie. Like, oh, they're the best parts of the movie. But also Tobey Maguire is the best part of this movie. It's all good. Kid's like, whoa, my first naked woman. Wait, but is that what's her face? Is that the mom? But just drawn as that other lady who we saw in the art book? Yeah, I think it is. Draw me as one of your French girls.
Show us what's under that nice blue dress.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, where are you going? There's nowhere to go.
As much as I like the imperfections of the world, there is also stuff like this. There's also stuff like this. Nice. Is that the first act of violence? No, don't. Don't. Now they're all gonna follow. Mob mentality. This is some guy's diner. This is business. It's a livelihood. Don't! That's a masterpiece. That's like breaking the Mona Lisa. That is actually like breaking the Mona Lisa. Now they're burning books. Oh my god.
No mercy.
It sucks because all this stuff has happened in real world as well. You know? Burning of the books, these like riots and stuff. Mob mentality. People scared of the unknown, of change. All real world. It's all happened before. and it will always keep happening.
This is
That
not
shot
the answer,
screamed
people.
power.
No matter how upset we may get, or
Also, how ironic it is that the background is hand in hand. Pleasantville is hand in hand. We'll be happy together. And they're riding against each other.
6. No bed frame or mattress may be sold measuring more than 38 inches wide.
What? What? That's so dumb. I wish I was in this room with everyone so I could boogie woogie woogie with them. Oh. That looks beautiful. This kid is a little twerp. I have chills again, guys. Chills for the 3rd time.
What went wrong?
Nothing went wrong. People change.
People change?
Yeah.
People change.
You get used to one thing, and then...
I know. It's not.
I like him, though. I like the dad because the
Bud
dad
Parker,
is
William Johnson.
this really good point of view into someone who's trying to cope with this change, you know?
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
You didn't. You didn't. It's just a painting. Calm down, everyone.
Dad?
Yeah, but...
It's okay, Dad. Just listen for a second.
What I like about the dad is that the dad is just kind of an innocent guy
I know
who
you
just does
miss
not understand
I mean,
this change, but I feel like he wants to understand it. Some part of him does.
look at her, Dad. Doesn't she look pretty like that?
But she cheated on you, so you can. He's gonna be color now. Yes! Let's go! That was a knee slap and a clap. That's what he gets.
Kids are making out in the street. No one is getting their dinner. Hell, you could have a flood any minute. Pretty soon, the women could be going off to work while the men stayed at home and cooked.
that is not going to happen.
But it could happen.
No, it could not.
Yes! Anger. The whole town is in color. Oh, yes. I have chills again. I'm so glad I bought this movie. I'm so glad. I would love to watch this movie again and again and again. And Bud gets the girl.
What an image.
Oh, shut up.
Bud.
Will they leave? I don't want them to. I don't want them to leave.
For a little while. Besides, you think I even have a chance of getting into college back there?
She's staying?
Honestly?
The sister's staying in the TV show? I mean, I want both of them to stay, but okay.
I'll come back and check on you soon.
Okay.
I love both of these two characters so much.
I am just so proud of you. Thanks.
You did good, Bud. You did good.
Well,
Dang it, my nose is running again.
I guess you better
Sorry.
stay back.
Should I have brought a tissue? I didn't know I would need tissues for this movie. But the mom? Because the mom was on the call, right? And she was upset.
This is the way it was always going to be. I had the right house, I had the right car, I had the right life.
There is no right house. There is no right car.
Ah, words of wisdom.
Sure it does.
Like the makeup. But he's removing it. He's removing the makeup. Instead of applying the makeup, he's removing the makeup. Kiss! No, don't kiss. Wait. I don't know if I necessarily want you guys together, because I think she likes the painter, right? Oh, wait, but maybe. Oh, okay. Written, produced, and directed by Gary Ross. That man did everything himself. He did everything. That was really good. Steven Soderbergh also produced it as well. I like that guy. And that was my reaction to Pleasantville, the 1998 comedy fantasy starring Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon, Joan Allen, William H. Macy, Jeff Daniels, Paul Walker. There are a million people in this movie, and what a movie it was. That may have been one of my favorite movies I've watched this year. And I have watched a lot of movies this year, but this may have been one of my favorite movies I have seen this year. So thank you so much to whoever suggested this movie. It was so good. If you would like to see a list of all of the movies that I've watched this year that I've ranked in order of my favorite to least favorite, you can head over to my Letterboxd account. The link is in the description. That is just a little subtle plug before we get into this review. But I am actually in shock about how good this movie was. I was expecting to like this movie, and I bought this movie intending to like this movie because I've heard good things about this movie, but I didn't know anything about it. But I like Tobey Maguire, so I was like, I'm just going to buy this movie and hope for the best. And it was worth it. Let me just say that. It was definitely worth it. Getting into the reviews for this movie very quickly, audience scores a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes is 85% from the critics. So critics loved this movie. Audiences really liked this movie. A 7.5 is not a bad review. And there are definitely flaws with this movie, but honestly, I loved this movie as much as the critics did, maybe even more. This movie is definitely a top 5, top 5 movie for me this year. It was so good. So audiences, you're crazy not giving this movie a 10 out of 10. That's my opinion. I usually do music first in my reviews, but I'd like to actually talk about what I think that this movie means, because I think there's a lot of different interpretations that you could come out with for this movie, and so I'd like to give my thoughts about what I think that the messages are in this movie, and then maybe if there are different interpretations of this movie, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. So I'll talk about it because it's the most interesting, and then I'll get into the music and everything else about this film. But my thoughts on the movie are that I really liked how they incorporated, at least in my opinion, they incorporated this message of older generations to younger generations, and how at the start of the movie, for example, the older generations were putting all of this stuff onto the younger generations, all of these problems that they hadn't solved, all of these problems that they maybe created, such as global warming. There was like war and stuff, and then one of the professors were like, oh, famine, and then it's like, what's famine? So how all these problems that the older generations maybe made worse or kind of just did not solve, and is pushing it onto this younger generation who are growing up in a world with all these problems and then having more put on their shoulders as well. So I liked that introduction into the film, but then what I really liked about it was kind of the way that when the color was being added into the film, the older people in the movie, the older generation of the movie, were not changing color, while the younger generation of the movie were changing color for the most part. I know there were some people in the younger generation who were changing color, and there were some people in the older who were, but for the most part, the majority of the older generation was black and white, and the majority of the younger generation became color slowly throughout the film until the end when everyone became color. So it was very interesting to see this dynamic of this black and white generation versus this color generation, and see how that these people did not want change. These people were fine the way they were. These people were happy the way they were, but the younger generation wanted change. They were demanding change, but even if they didn't know it, they were striving for it, and once they had it, they didn't want to let go of it. So it was this very interesting dynamic that is seen in the real world, where this older generation of people looks down on the change that the younger generation wants to make. And it's not just now, it's not just stuff that happens in present day. This has happened throughout human history, where the older generation of people never see the change of younger generations to be good. Like my dad sometimes says that he's not looking forward to the younger generation of people because he's scared about what the world is going to look like. But I'm sure people like a generation before his generation said the same thing about his age group, you know? So it's kind of this thing that is always passed down, where people are always scared for change because they don't know if it's going to bring out worse in humanity. And being scared about change is actually what brings out the worst in humanity. It's not actually the change itself that brings out the worst, because humanity will always change, humanity will always grow. It's like a language. A language changes throughout history, but no one really cares because that's just how a language works. I mean, people do care, but you get my analogy here. You get what I'm trying to say. But being scared of the change is what makes these bad things happen, as we saw in this movie. Being scared of the change, being scared of people turning into color, being scared of people not conforming to this society's wants and wishes and the rules that are super strict and kind of constraining people. Being scared of that led to the mob mentality, led to the Bucks being burned, led to Tobey Maguire's character David being put in prison along with the painter Bill. It was like, you know, stuff like that. So that's kind of the biggest message I got from this movie, is that don't be scared of change, embrace change, embrace who you are as a person, and live life to be happy. Don't just live life to conform into the rules of a set society, if you know what I mean. So that's what I got from this movie. I really liked it. I can also see it an interpretation of racism, especially once the like no colored sign starts to appear and stuff, and people are turning color, and colored people start to get segregated from the black and white people, like they're all on the top while everyone else is on the bottom and stuff like that. So I can definitely see that as well. But for me, the main message of this movie was that do not be constrained by society's wishes. Do not be constrained by the rules of an older generation. Kind of live life the way you want to live life. Be the person that you want to be. Okay, getting into the music now. I could talk about probably the message of this movie forever, but I gotta talk about other things in this movie. The music in this movie was so good. It was so powerful. Randy Newman did an amazing job with the score. The piano that he had at the start of the movie and kind of throughout the movie was really good. But then whenever the strings started to hit and the strings would play and the scene would intensify and stuff, it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But there were also scenes where there was no music at all, and it also worked really well, and that is just because the acting was powerhouse. And I'll get to the acting at the end of my review, as I always do, but the acting was great. But the not overwhelming score of this movie really helped kind of make this movie really enjoyable for some reason, because it didn't like force its emotions onto you through this super loud, powerful score. The score was very powerful, but it was very quiet. Even when the mob was attacking the diner and they were throwing stuff at the windows and the chair, rammed the chair through the window, the score wasn't like this intense thing. It was very soft and it was a little menacing, but it was also sad, which is not something that you really see when someone's mobbing stuff. You know, it's like when some people are breaking stuff in movies, you'd expect like this really loud, like angry sort of sound, but this one was like a very sad sound, and it was sad because these people couldn't see the change that was happening. These people were scared of the change and they just didn't understand the change. They need someone to help them, and that's why the music was sad. So I thought the music really encompassed the emotions of this movie very, very well. Getting into the actual special effects of this movie and stuff, the use of color to tell the story was so much fun. It reminded me of WandaVision. If you haven't seen WandaVision, I would definitely recommend you check it out. Even if you haven't seen the MCU, I mean, actually, no, you should definitely see the MCU. What am I saying? But if you have seen the MCU and you have not checked out WandaVision, go check it out, because it is very similar to this movie. So I found it fun, especially at the start of the movie, to compare WandaVision to Pleasantville, especially because I feel like WandaVision took a lot of respect and took a lot of the ideas from Pleasantville and put it into its own show. So I thought that was a really cool contrast between these two things that I watched, and I'm glad that I watched WandaVision first, because throughout this movie I'd be like, oh my god, that happened in WandaVision, that looks like it's from WandaVision. The color red is the first color that is seen in Pleasantville. It is also the first color that is seen in WandaVision, so it's just kind of this interesting like link between the two shows. But anyways, I thought that the use of color in the story was a really clever way, in a very creative way, in a very visually pleasing way to tell your story. It was very pleasing to see people start to become color, and then at the end when everything was color, it gave me chills. I don't know why, but it was just really, really awesome. But also the effects, to make sure that things were colored, things were not colored. I don't know if they're rotoscoping it, I don't know how they did it, but it was so good. Like the fire in the tree, how did they make the fire not like look weird on the tree? Like, how did they do that? I don't even know, but it was just really, really well done. There's probably things that you could pick on about this movie. There are probably things that maybe aren't the greatest in this movie, but honestly, I don't really think that there's anything that I could really pick on in this movie. I love this movie from very start to the very end. The very start was a little overwhelming with all of the ads and stuff, and I was like, what the heck is happening? But it quickly leveled out, and I was like, okay, I understand the start. I understand why the start was so frantic and stuff. And I don't know, I never at one point in this movie was like, man, how long left of this movie? I was never at one point in this movie going, I'm a little bit bored, when will the movie pick up? It was captivating me the entire 2-hour runtime, and that's something that is very important important for a movie, but it's something that I also really appreciate. And I know the story maybe isn't for everyone. It is, in a way, a sort of cliche story, like finding yourself, finding someone is used a lot in film, but I thought that they did an amazing job in this movie displaying that point in a very creative way to display that point, which is what made this film so special in my opinion. The last thing I'm going to talk about before I get into the cast was the directing and the editing. The editing was really good. It was very kind of like this very slow-paced editing, except for the start, which was very frantic, which kind of was how the world worked. It was like super frantic, get to Pleasantville, not frantic. It was just like boom, like it kind of slowed down. But the directing as well was really good at the start. They did these really cool like the director did a really cool subversion where David is talking to this girl that he likes, and then you think that they're talking to each other, but he's actually just looking at her. Like, that was a really cool shot to just subvert your expectations and kind of really kind of show who David's character is, because he sounded a little bit like a loser talking to this girl, but then when you figure out that he's actually not with her and just looking at her from far away, you're like, oh yeah, he's way more of a nerd than you than you would think, right? But it was really cool. And then when the boyfriend and the sister, or not the boyfriend and the sister, the guy that the sister liked and the sister kind of met at the start as well, and then they had their two friends behind, the two friends were fine, and they said hi and then hi, just like visual gags like that and stuff were really good. And then the editing, just the directing in general was really good. There were some really creative long takes, not even long takes, just takes in general that were captivating. The shots were really well planned out, and I mean, they probably had to be because of the color and stuff, or maybe that was just really good effects, but I just thought the directing in this movie was really, really good. Okay, and getting into the cast now. There's so much more I probably could have talked about in this film, but I don't want to talk to you guys for an hour because you'll probably get bored, but but I could talk about this movie for a long time. But getting into the cast now, Reese Witherspoon. Okay, before I get into the cast though, if you go on Google and you search up Pleasantville cast and the cast comes up, why is Tobey Maguire's name at the very end of the cast list? Do you have to scroll all the way to the very last person to find Tobey Maguire? It's like, why are you hiding back there, Tobey? You should be proud of this film. Like, come on out and be next to Reese Witherspoon. You should be the front of the cast. He was so good. I'll talk about him last, but Reese Witherspoon as Jennifer. Actually, no, I'm going to talk about her second last. I'm going to start with Jeff Daniels as Bill Johnson. Paul Walker was also in this movie, which was really interesting. He was Skip. I didn't recognize him. I haven't really seen anything that Paul Walker's in, but just cool to know that he is in this movie. Jeff Daniels as Bill Johnson was probably one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character. I really like David Tobey Maguire's character and the sister Reese Witherspoon's character Jennifer as well, but Bill Johnson was definitely up there in my top characters. He was so good. At the start, he was a little creepy, just like I just kept wiping and stuff, but eventually he came to it. He was one of the first people to come into the color world, I guess, to come into the real world, to kind of have this sense of free will about him, and his love of art was so powerful. I think the two most emotional scenes were with him in it. They were both the art scenes, one with the mom, Betty, and then one when he's with Tobey Maguire's character, David, and they're looking through the art book. Those were the two most powerful scenes for me, and it was just because you could feel his love for art. You could feel this passion that had been like subdued inside him and was now being released, and it was just like the music and the scene, and it was just so good, and his character was so sweet and just so loving and so passionate, and I loved him so much. Jeff Daniels did such a good job. William H. Macy as George, I really liked him, and I really liked his character in the movie because you knew he was going to join the villain side at some point, because he did not want change, but he wasn't opposed to change like maybe the mayor was. He wasn't opposed to change. He wasn't trying to stop change. At least he was, I guess, but there was something about him that just seemed a little bit more confused and a little bit more unsure than the rest of the people trying to stop the change. You know, it felt like that he would give it a chance, especially when he came into the prison cell and gave David the olives. Even though David had done all these bad things, he was still there to support him. He was still this caring father. He still loved his wife, Betty. So it was a very interesting character and a very interesting person to have in the movie, because it gave you the perspective of this person who was against change, or not against change, but this person who had different values than the youth, I guess. However, it was someone who was just a little harder to get to and a little harder to maybe understand this change that was happening. So it was a very interesting character, and I really liked him a lot. I thought William H. Macy did an amazing job as George. Joan Allen, Joan Allen, I don't know, I've never really seen this actress before, as Betty Parker. She was an amazing actress in this movie. She was so good. I loved her performance, especially whenever she was with Jeff Daniels. They worked so well together, and I'm so glad that, I don't even know what happened at the end. I don't know if they were having like some sort of threesome, or if William H. Macy and Joan Allen, Betty and George were together, or if Bill and George were together, or if Bill and Betty were together. Who even knows? But I really liked Betty and Bill together. I loved her kind of getting out of this nuclear family vibe, you know, getting out of George's conformity when she was said no and stuff, and then she still made lunch, showing that she did care about him. She is not a horrible person. She actually did something nice before she left. So I really liked her character. I thought that Joan or Joanne Allen did a really good job. And Reese Witherspoon, I guess there's also Tobey Maguire, but he's at the back, so I almost forgot. But Reese Witherspoon as Jennifer, I loved her character. Even when she was mean and you weren't really supposed to like her because she was kind of bullying Tobey Maguire. No one's allowed to bully Tobey Maguire because he's an amazing guy. But even when he was bullying, or she was bullying him, I knew that I was going to like her later on. I kind of could see her character change, and that's maybe the biggest fault of this movie, is that it's a little predictable. Like, you know what's going to happen, but I don't care. I really enjoyed her character, though. She had some really fun lines at the start of the movie when she was this like angsty person trying to find herself, and she was going through that. She said it in the movie, this like slut phase, quotation marks, because I don't like using that word, but yeah, I really liked the lines that she had, and then her evolution throughout the movie, becoming more like Tobey's character, becoming more like David, becoming her true self, I guess. And then when she turns into like the color person, it's just really good. I really liked her in the movie, and I thought she did a really good job. And last but not least is Tobey Maguire, my man himself. He was so good in this film. He rocked it. I haven't really seen him in anything besides Spider-Man, but I would like to now. He's just like such an innocent, he just looks so innocent, but he's also so happy. When Tobey's happy, everyone's happy. I think that should be the phrase. When Tobey Maguire is happy in a movie, everyone is happy. But he was so good. He was very emotional. He didn't even carry this movie. I can't even say that because all the other actors did a good job, but he carried the scenes he was in. He was just a powerhouse, you know? I loved him. He was so good as David, and as, what was the guy's name? What was his name in the show? I totally forget. I just called him Tobey Maguire, I think. But anyways, yeah, I thought he did a great job. And that is my reaction to Pleasantville. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me and supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, I am very, very surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. I bought it thinking I was going to enjoy this movie, but I didn't think it was going to be like a top 5 of the year contender for me. I adored it so much, so thank you so much for recommending it if you are still watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.